Hello SLAPAFISH community and welcome back to another World Tanks console video. So in this video, I'm going to be driving on Fjord Standard Battle, and I'm also going to be driving my brand new K-91, a tier 10 Soviet medium tank. So the K-91, let me first explain. This is my very first battle in the K-91 ever. So, also, today's Wednesday, and I've played many battles in the K-91 so far, and I played it during stream, and right now, so I went into this battle expecting it to be a sniper, which it is a sniper because it's 1700 shell velocity. The K-91 has really good shell velocity at 1700 meters per second on its standard, which is incredible, and I've been told it is the highest in the game, which surprised me? No, not really. But K-91, shell velocity is a lot of things. Shell velocity is really good at snapshotting. Shell velocity is really good at accuracy. Yeah, shell velocity. Pretty fantastic. Now, what else is good about this tank? Now, the gun. A lot of people give it credit for the gun, but I don't really do because people don't like the DPM of this tank. It's not as high as the other Soviet medium tanks, but it has its characteristics that make it stand out from the other Soviet medium tanks. So let me discover the stats. It fires 7.59 rounds per minute. It does 320 damage per shot. That gives it a DPM of 2,429. Not terrible DPM, but not the best of medium tanks. Its penetration is 276 on its standard, which is really good. Penetration on its premium is 330. Accuracy is 0.33, and aim time is 1.9. So, right there, a couple of things that makes it good for you. High standard penetration, 276. Accuracy is really good, 0.33, and aim time is really good at 1.9. Now, what else is good about this tank I like? Shell velocity, like I said before, 1700 on its standard ammunition, and on its premium, it gets 950. On its high explosive, it gets 800. Those are not that fantastic, but it's okay. Now, this is a Soviet that has gun depression. It has 20 degrees of gun elevation, which is very standard against a lot of tanks. But gun depression is 9 degrees. But I must tell you, you only have 9 degrees over the side of your tank. I don't know how much you have over the front of your tank, but going from the 9, having only 4 degrees at maximum gun depression, and going to the tier 10 having 9 degrees of gun depression that you can bend over at any point of your side, makes this tank feel amazing. Here's another thing that the Soviet medium tank gets that a lot of the Soviet tanks are not known for. View range. It gets 410 meters of view range, which is really nice. Signal range is 730, which is okay. What about the engine power? Engine power is 55 forward and 20 reverse. It gets a 19.11 horsepower per ton engine, which is okay. I forgot to mention the concealment. It's 0.26% while stationary and 19% while moving. So that's okay. You also have 1,950 hit points. Now, armor. This is a medium tank that actually has good armor. If you're coming from the tier 9, which more than likely it is because you got to play the tier 9 to get to tier 10. But anyway, if you play tier 9, you like the tier 9, you're definitely going to enjoy the tier 10 because the tier 10, okay, tier 9, you had to side scrape. And this one, you could side scrape in. You can still side scrape, but not as good. You have 210 millimeters of armor at the front, 140 at the sides, and 60 at the back of your turret. Now, your chassis, your hull, has anywhere from 160 at the front to 120 at the front. The sides, you get 60 millimeters of armor, which doesn't sound like great, but it will never get overmatched. There's barely any guns in the game that can overmatch. The only guns that can overmatch you are some artillery and the Death Star in the 4005. The back of your armor, of your whole armor, is 45, so don't ever get shoot there because you'll get pinned every single time. But yeah, when I was coming from the tier 9 to the tier 10, when I was playing the tier 9 to tier 10, and everybody was like, hey, the tier 9, stay with the tier 9, go with the other two tanks, the Object 430 and the Object 430U. And everybody was like, oh, the tier 9 is amazing. I'm like, okay. Play tier 9, I'm like, this thing sucks. Then I kept comparing the stats to the tier 9 to the tier 10. I was like, wow. Why would I ever want to play the tier 9 when I can play the tier 10? Tier 9, hate the shell velocity, only has 900 meters per second. That's terrible. K-91 has 1700. Wow. DPM is higher on the K-91. It's more accurate, better aim time. The K-91 has over double the amount of gun diversion. You actually can spot for yourself in the K-91 without having to bring coded optics or what's the other one? Binocs. Speaking of equipment, if you're wondering what equipment I'm running, it's a gun rammer, vertical stabilizers, and crew vents. Now, the crew I'm actually using, since I have crew vents, is repairs, control and impact, off-road driving, swimming lessons, snapshot, brothers in arms, mentors, sixth sense, and training jack of all trades. So yeah, I thought the tier 9 was terrible. I really hated the tier 9, but the tier 10, the K-91 is just fantastic. Love it. The K-91 can spot for itself. It can side scrape. It can snipe. It can snapshot. It can tear apart its enemies, as you can see with that tortoise. Not as fast as the other Soviet medium tanks, but you can do it long distances, which the other ones couldn't. But this one can, which makes it really that much better. So yeah. And now we're just fighting a machine because we can. And pick up the machine kill right here, and he's dead. Also, this is my first game of the K-91. If you don't believe me, I'll show you at the after this game is over. It was my very first game in the K-91. So, speaking of the K-91, how many battles have I played in total? Do I still love the tank when I first played it? Yes, I still love the tank. All of the tank's amazing. I played it on stream 2 times. On stream, on YouTube stream, and on a Twitch stream. Okay, K-91. I've played 14 battles. I have a 50% win ratio. I have a 77% hit ratio. I've only survived 3 battles out of 14, which is okay for me. Which is a 21% survival ratio, which is higher than my standard ratio. Damage standing is 18.75. Really want to get that up. And I've killed 15 tanks. So, I'm really enjoying the K-91. I've played a couple of games where I've done over 6,000 damage in the K-91 by 14 battles. And yeah, I'm so glad I picked this thing. I am. I really am. People hate on it. And it's only because of that DPM. Because it's different from the other Russian medium tanks. That's the only reason. That's the only reason I hear. And yes, this is during the daily 5 times. So if you stick around, I can show you what I did. This is my first match. But anyway, I made 93,000 silver, did 6,400 damage, and blocked 1,110, and definitely got on top of the leaderboard. Fired 23 shots, and 21 shots hit, all 21 shots penetrated because the high penetration. But yeah, I enjoy this tank. I do. If you're thinking about getting it, get it. If this tank sounds like, if this video made you think about getting this tank, get it. If this video showed you like, hey, this tank actually may be my playstyle, get it. Don't worry about the DPM. It's okay. 2,429 DPM is not bad. That's not. It's kind of low for a medium tank, but higher than heavies, higher than light tanks. And yeah, get it. It's fine. But anyway, that's it for this video. If you like this video, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll remember to SLAPAFISH because if not, it beats out. See ya.